I gotta tell you, this theme has just been after me all week, and or at least the last couple 3 days. That just kind of blows my mind. So anyway, let me walk you through a couple things, and I am still having trouble with getting recording and editing done in a way that I can upload. So I'm gonna do my best. We'll see how this all turns out. Thanks for anybody that takes time to watch. I really appreciate it, and yeah, it's kind of all about stars right now. And here's what I mean. Uh, I had an idea that I remembered that I had done something years ago with the Van Gogh painting, Starry Night. I'm going to get to that last. But I went to the Habitat for Humanity Restore yesterday on my lunchtime, and there was this star picture frame, and this was after all of this stuff had come back to mind. It had a $4 price tag on it. They rang it up as $3. So for $3, I got this, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool if I could make a K? This is obviously just there for temporary. Make a K that I could fit in there, and then I'd have just a little mirror that has the Star K logo on it. All right, well, I'm going to be working on that, but I probably don't have time to finish that today. On the other hand, this is what I'm going to try to actually burn as a test, and I'm just not sure how it's going to turn out, so I'm interested to share that. When I take off the activation, what we've got here is basically the graphic that was a metal wall art version of Starry Night. And at first I was going to do it so that it was an infill, so that especially this big cypress tree that's right in the foreground of that classic painting would be the cut. But I'm going to leave it as the empty space, the blank space, and try that so that the grain of the wood is showing here instead of just a big black gap. And I've got some passages of scripture that I really like that go with this. Maybe more on that later, especially if it turns out all right. But while I'm doing that, also, here's the wood that I'm going to use for this. I wish I did not have this knot, but it's really just a test because I don't know how well this is going to turn out. So this is kind of some cheap kind of scrap wood, and probably would be better if this. Oh wait, that's almost the cypress tree, isn't it? If I turn that over. Okay. Let me come back in a minute. Okay, no, that won't quite do it because that's kind of a mirror image. Boy, that would be pretty great if that had worked out. But anyway, here, gotta get this squared. Okay. Let's try it with this one. Now, this may be at the bottom of the tree. It may not get cut very much at all, and that would be a good thing. So let's see how that goes. Ideally, the burn will cut just that outside edge. This is a really tight fit. I wanted to get as much of this, get it as big as I could, but on the other hand, it doesn't matter that much because it's really just a test run. All right, let me reset, remeasure, and come back. All right, turns out there's a little more space here than I thought, so I may be able to miss that limb knot altogether. Let's see. Then I get to show you something else while that's running. So here's the thing that really got it started. I came across this quote. Let's see if I can show it. I've got the whole thing here, but it's kind of hard to do it. I was listening to a podcast, Young Heretics, highly recommended, especially if you like poetry and classic literature, especially the Greek and Roman literatures and mythologies. Very, very interesting stuff. There is this line, though, that he mentions. The guy that does it, Spencer Clavin, has created his own language when he was helping the adaptation of the Taliesin series, the King Arthur series that is going to be coming out with the Daily Wire. And there he mentions this line that he likes so much, Ellen Sila Ilmenta Amantielvo, and boy, should not have tried to do that. Basically, what it's translated as is, a star shines upon the hour of the meeting of our ways, or a star shines on the hour of our meeting. And that is, if I can show it here, I can make it bigger. This is actually Tolkien's Elvish language, and that is that phrase. And this is I believe, the Star of Fëanor. And I wanted to make, my oldest daughter is a big Tolkien fan, I wanted to make my daughter a little thing that could be like at the entryway of their door, where this greeting, Matthew talks about when you come to this house, put your blessing on it, peace be to this house. And this same kind of thing is like, it is as bright as the stars shine in the darkness to see your face here at my door. Please come in and be welcome. That's the kind of thing. And so I ended up, I'm going to have to call her, because I cannot decide how I want it to cut, and I cannot decide how the layout of the language should be, because it's putting, do I put the lines around the square? Do I put the lines on the top in Elvish and then on the bottom in English, the translation? Actually, I'm kind of just brainstorming here while I'm doing this. That actually kind of makes pretty good sense. I kind of like that. Just a question if I can get it to fit. So I may work on that a little bit more while this other thing is cutting. And it appears, no, there is not an actual out-of-control fire, but evidently my exhaust fan needs to be cleaned, like I'm sure the laser does as well. This is what it looks like when the exhaust fan isn't working very well. Oh boy. And we've got about 10 minutes before that's going to be done. So let me see. I'm hoping that I've been able to stitch these together for a full recording this week, but I'll come back in a minute here. This has potential. I'm going to check in with the intended recipient of this and see what she thinks, but this, I still have to decide what's going to be a fill, what's going to be a line, what's going to be a cutout, if anything. So that's not settled yet, but at least the idea of the sentiment is all here together. Yeah, this fake Hobbit font is kind of cool. It's one of the fonts that I was able to get set up here, and yeah, it's kind of nice. And now, while I'm choking back smoke, how did this turn out? The cut is not through completely yet, I'm sure. But yeah, there was plenty of room for it. That's great. Okay. Well, I'm going to run the cutout a few more times. Hopefully that the laser's going to hold up without a cleaning. And try to get this out and then put some alcohol, wipe it down to get the soot off, and see how it looks. It's not terrible. Let's see. Working on the K. It's turned out to be kind of fun, pretty good. Here we've got the back, and it's nice when I can make the star K bigger, because the little cutouts for the K sometimes even fall out. Now I just need to clean this and see what it looks like. I'm going to do that next. A little bit of alcohol on the rag, and let's see how that opens up the detail. This was a pretty I don't think it was a wet piece of wood, but this did generate a decent amount of soot. Now, the part of that almost certainly must have to do with the fact that the laser needs to be cleaned too. It is got to be pretty gunked up right now. Yeah, that's better. I'm not sure that the artwork really comes out or not. Be interested if anybody's got a thought to share in the comments. Always nice to hear from people directly, but the algorithm likes to have videos with comments and likes and shares. Any of that you can do would be greatly appreciated. Okay, yeah. I think that works. Maybe a different font might have been a little better. I don't know. But let's get the back cleaned up. Oh, yeah. That is nice when it can be a little bigger. I did not go real deep on this, so I may not do any more sanding. Maybe one quick pass to let it dry out. But for a test run of something that I might try to do a number of, it's not too bad. A different kind of wood might have a very interesting grain pattern to show up in that if I position it strategically. Well, let's see if the K's have come out yet. I'm not going to be able to get this completely finished by the time I got to get edited so I can get it loaded up, but this is one of my options here. And I've cut it intentionally so it's a little bigger because I don't want it to go straight down that line. I want it to come in a little bit, so I'll have to cut a little bit. This will be good practice with the Japanese cut saw. And I tried a rounded thing because this is a rounded star, but I don't think any of that except the inside is going to show up, so maybe that's not the best idea. Got one more in the works here. See if it's out of the oven yet. This one probably makes more sense, but whew, did it ever scorch? I'm not sure which one I'm gonna like better. I like to get those as close to exactly the same as I can, and I want it to be completely in line here. So I'm gonna have to play with this a while because I'm not sure which one I'm gonna end up liking better. Would love to have some comments. Let me know what you think. Anyway, like I said, this week's ideas were just full of stars, and I appreciate you taking time to watch. Blessed and grateful here. Thanks.